Welcome to this week's edition of the Pete Mezzetti Show. I'm Pete Mezzetti. My guest this evening is Minor Vincent, who is president of Families Helping Families, located in the town of Clinton. Sarah,
hey, good to see
Minor,
you.
Hey, bud. How are you?
Good, very
What's
good.
What's new?
Just getting all our spring and summer events lined up.
Oh, good.
We kick it off with food drive.
Okay.
First Saturday in April.
Right.
And we're not joking. We are having a food drive on April 1st.
Okay.
So we are, get the jokes out of the way.
Right.
We're going to be at Big Y from 10 to 2.
Yeah.
Rain or shine.
Or other implement.
Yeah, and if
weather.
it snows, we'll be there too.
Oh, good.
We're used to, we've encountered all kinds of weather.
Absolutely.
So we're excited. This is our second year at Big Y. We did 2 food drives there last year, and very nice people to work with, and got a good response. So we're anxious to go back.
Absolutely, absolutely. And tell us a little bit about Families Helping Families and maybe some of the programs that you guys offer.
So we started 17 years ago, and we started with one program, which was energy assistance, and now we have evolved into 4 programs.
Okay.
We do the energy assistance, and we work with Cheryl Church at Clinton Social Services.
Yeah.
And what we do is when somebody registers for fuel assistance from the state, they get a certain allocation. And when that allocation runs out, there is also a supplemental program. And when that runs out, our program kicks in.
Okay.
And with the price of home heating oil this winter, there's a lot of people that are hurting.
Oh, yeah, of course.
It's the highest it's been in years. We're not in the judgment business, so we have an understanding with Cheryl. If it's somebody that she feels deserves, then she takes care of it.
Right.
We have a program, Families to Families, when there is a critical need in a family. Somebody can't make a mortgage payment, somebody's in the hospital. We had an instance last fall where some people on Nod Road had a house fire.
I remember this.
And they didn't have, so to get into another house, they had to have first, last, and a security deposit.
Okay.
Which was a considerable amount of money, so we were able to help them facilitate getting into a rent.
Oh, cool.
But it's basically, when there's a crisis, we want to be there to help people. We don't want to have to go through filling out forms, filling out paperwork. When there's a situation in your family, you want help immediately.
Right.
You want to mitigate those problems as quick as you can. We have another program, Clinton Kids Initiative, where anything related to kids, it's from back to school has evolved into not just paper and pencils and notebooks, but it's evolved into new clothes and new shoes. We do that. We do Christmas time, we do a lot with tweens, because everybody does Toys for Tots, and the tweens and the early teens are kind of left out.
They get forgotten about?
Yeah. So what we do is we work with Cheryl and get a list of stores that she knows that they will like.
Yeah.
And we get gift cards, and then Cheryl disperses them. And then we do Food for Clinton, which is our biggest outreach. And we're very fortunate. We have a partnership with a wholesale produce company. So that means we can buy produce very, very cheaply. We're buying it at wholesale prices,
Right.
which is considerably cheaper than
Retail
what you see.
prices.
Yeah, at a supermarket. We do. Excuse me. We have various buying sources, so we're buying non-perishable food.
Right.
At considerably cheaper than, again, what you see. So if you go to Stop and Shop or ShopRite or Big Y and you see a can of vegetables, it could be $1.19, $1.29.
Yeah.
We're buying that same can for 57 cents.
Oh, wow.
So
Substantial difference.
Yep. And so we've worked out some of these buying sources. Part of the problem since COVID has hit is that places like Walmart, Target, Amazon, they're very reluctant to ship things that are heavy.
Yes.
We used to buy tons of pasta sauce, tons of bottles of juice,
Yeah.
and they don't ship them anymore.
Oh, wow.
It's pickup only. Or in the case of Amazon, they will ship, but you're limited in quantities, and that goes across the board. And sometimes I try and outsmart the computers.
Yeah, that
And I'll
doesn't
put in, so sometimes they limit it to only 5. So I'll put in 5, but I won't totally finish the sale.
Yeah.
And come back like the next day and put in another 5, but immediately up on the screen, you have
You get red flagged.
Yes,
You get flagged.
I'm red flagged. So that puts a damper on everything because you have to scramble and you're looking for different sources to find stuff. But we've continued to support the Clinton Food Pantry. We do 2 deliveries every week.
Mm-hmm.
One's a delivery from our wholesaler, fresh produce wholesaler, and then we deliver non-perishable foods and personal care items.
Okay.
And since the April of 2020, which when the pandemic started, we've delivered over 239,000 pounds.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it's been a big effort, but we want to make sure that there's plenty of food on the shelves at the food pantry and that nobody goes without food.
No.
And part of the issue is that since the pandemic started, the people that have come to depend on the food pantry, it's almost 2.5 times as many as there were pre-pandemic.
Really? Wow.
Yep. So they do a fabulous job, and they are still in the grab and go mode.
Right.
So what they do is they stuff bags, and they stuff fresh produce in one bag,
Yep.
non-perishable food in another bag,
Mm-hmm.
and meat in another bag.
Right.
So if 400 or so families every week, that's a lot of bags to fill.
Oh, yeah.
So my hat's off to them and the volunteers, because to continually have that many people and make the operation run smoothly is a testimony to them.
Absolutely. And from what I understand, we also are involved with the garden.
We're involved in the garden.
Let's talk about the garden.
Well, we've been a supporter of the garden from the very first year that they started.
Okay.
And what we do is we help fund the garden. And the garden, I think last year they grew and donated to the Clinton Food Pantry about 7,000 pounds of fresh vegetables.
Oh, wow.
Which, and the nice thing is that they pick on a Wednesday.
Right.
So they pick, and one of my functions is to package things. So it's picked and packaged and delivered to the food pantry on Wednesday, the day that they give out food. So it's like, from garden to table. And they have just an army of volunteers.
Oh, do they?
Some people work Wednesdays, some people work Saturdays. You can go by any day of the week and you'll see a car, and there's somebody working at the garden. And for people who don't know where the garden is, it's between the back of Holy Advent Church,
Right.
and you just drive in the driveway between Holy Advent and Pearson School.
Yeah.
And I urge everybody, when it's in full bloom, to go back there and look at it, because they just do an amazing job. They have, vegetables from soup to nuts, and they have raised beds where they grow things. It's a dedicated group of people that really make that garden what it is today. And I forgot how many years they've been there, maybe 6 or 7, but that was just a wooden lot, lot with trees, and they have really turned it into something special. And it's I think, if people have the time, you don't think that on Main Street in Clinton there would be this huge garden.
But there is.
If there is, it's kind of hidden behind the church, but it's well worth it to drive in and just take a look at it.
Now, they started planting for the upcoming season?
Not quite yet, but
soon?
Yeah, soon, because listen, tomorrow's the 14th of March, and so first week in April, second week in April, they'll be out there starting, because they do The first thing they do is they do a crop of lettuce. So that's the first thing that goes into the ground.
Okay.
So they'll be there. I'm telling you, you people need to just take 5 minutes and go in there and see what they're doing. And if somebody's got the time, they're always looking for volunteers.
Right. Now, is it holy lettuce?
Well, I don't know if it's holy, but it's good. It's fresh and good lettuce.
So in other words, when the lettuce is ready, they look at the lettuce and say, "Oh, let us pray."
Well, I'm sure they're praying when they put the seeds in the ground.
I think telling jokes like this, I shouldn't give up my day job.
No.
No.
That might be advisable. But
That might be an advisable idea.
well, if you take into the fact that it's connected to Holy Advent, then
Yeah, right.
that goes without saying.
Yeah,
It
right.
is holy ground.
Exactly. Exactly. So I also understand, I want to talk about, you guys are doing something with, is it social services and Dave Malillo? Something about a program?
We are. We kind of got involved about a year ago with Dave Malillo, and we had been talking about suicide,
Yeah.
which is obviously, nobody wants to talk about it. My brother committed suicide a long time ago.
Right.
And there have been a number of suicides in our town. And we wanted to sit down and have a conversation about what we could do. And out of that conversation, there are about 5 or 6 of us that have been meeting for the past year.
Yeah.
And we developed a program called Clinton Conversations.
Yes.
And we've had 3 public meetings. And right now we're planning the 4th one, which hopefully will be held in May.
Okay.
And it's a forum, it's a give and take. It's a place where people can get information. It's a place where they can share their stories. We just wanted to shed some light on the subject, which, to a lot of people it's taboo.
Right.
We wanted to be able to talk to people that have had suicides in their families,
Right.
and have them be free to share their emotions and their experiences with people, because I think sometimes people, when the subject of suicide comes up, you immediately think of the person who has committed that act.
Right.
But even more devastating is the people that are left behind, the family members, and the effects, long-term effects that it has on those people.
Right.
So we've been supported. People have showed up, got some great feedback. So like I said, we're planning number 4 sometime in May, and then we're going to really spend the summer figuring out where we're going to go with this. We hope that it's an ongoing series, and we've talked about incorporating some mental health issues into it. So, but we wanted to bring it out in the open, so to speak. It's a very difficult subject.
Oh,
It's
yeah.
difficult for people to talk about it, but I think it's a conversation that needs to be held, and that's why we called it the Clinton Community Conversations. And the response has been very good.
Would you mind sticking around for another segment?
Love to.
All right, we'll be right back.
The latest social media scam is yet another phishing scheme designed to scare Facebook users into sharing their login credentials. You receive an email that appears to come from Facebook and says your page has been disabled for violating Facebook terms. If you believe the decision is incorrect, you can request a review and file an appeal at the link below. Well, the message may also state that if you don't act in the next 24 hours, Facebook will delete your account permanently. The email includes a link that appears to lead to facebook.com. However, if you hover over the link, you'll discover that it doesn't point to Facebook's website. If you click the link, you'll likely be taken to an official-looking page and prompted to complete a form and confirm your password, giving scammers all the information they need to hack your account. Instead, what you should do is log into your Facebook account directly to verify there's a problem. Never enter your login information on a third-party website. And remember, scammers love to target social media accounts, so fake alerts are not uncommon. You can read more about phishing scams at bbb.org.
Welcome back to this week's edition of the Pete Mezzetti Show. I'm Pete Mezzetti, sitting here with Minor Vincent, who's president of Families Helping Families, based out of Clinton. Welcome back, sir.
Good to be here.
Thanks for sticking around. So let's talk about let's open up this segment talking about the backpack program that you guys have.
So this is our second year of doing a backpack food program.
Okay.
And we do it in conjunction with Joel's school. The whole idea of a backpack program had been kicked around, I would say, for 3 or 4 years by various groups.
Yep.
And we just decided that it was time to do something.
Sure.
So what we did was we worked with Lisa Carone, who's a special education teacher at Joel.
Absolutely.
We worked with, can't think of the food service director, John Siliciano,
I was
and tried to get from them what they thought kids would like, because our ideas and what kids like might be different.
Right.
One of the things that we found out is something that you would think our kids would love. This was like microwavable raviolis.
Okay.
And they said no, that they've tried to give that out to kids and it wasn't very popular.
Really?
So we came up with a list of about 12 to 13 items
Okay.
in various quantities, like we do 2 juice boxes and 2 tuna pouches and 2 apple sauces, things like that. And what we do is we bag them, and every Thursday I drop them off at Joel.
Okay.
And then on Friday morning, Lisa goes around and she puts them in the backpacks of kids that she knows have a difficult time with food on the weekends.
Oh, cool.
And so we started, and this is our second year, and it's been good. You know, it's a service, and like I said before, we don't want to see anybody go hungry. There's no excuse. Not in this country, and not in our town.
No, absolutely not. Absolutely not. So what other fun events do we have coming up in the horizon?
Well, last year we tried something different. We in May we did a Go Fly a Kite Day.
Okay.
And naturally, the day that we did it, there wasn't a lot of wind at the beach.
No.
But we had kids turn out. They had some fun. They were able to fly their kites. So we're going to do that again.
Oh, good.
And then in June, we're going to do Bike Safety Day again,
All right.
where hopefully we can, I think last year we gave away 40 bikes to kids.
Sure.
So we'll be doing that again this year. We provide helmets for them. And we are also going to partner again with the Groove Crew from Kids Connection.
Yep.
And we'll be doing 3 concerts in the summer. We'll be doing June, July, and August.
Okay.
And there's a possibility of having a concert put on by some of the seniors in Clinton. And those will be on the lawn in front of the Academy building.
Okay, cool.
So it's May, June, July, August, September. September we'll come back again with our fall food drive, and then we'll start with our the food cards for Thanksgiving. And last year we collected, due to the generosity of the people in Clinton, 480.
Wow.
So the whole purpose of that program was we wanted to give people the opportunity to select the food that they would like for Thanksgiving. And what we did is we went out, and even with the increased prices of food this year, so for a $25 food card, you could get the basics. And even though the price of turkeys was very high, the week and a half or 2 weeks before Thanksgiving, the prices came way down.
Right.
So you could, with the $25 food card, you could get a turkey, you could get a bag of potatoes, you get a can of cranberry sauce, some rolls, some vegetables, and a pie. And what we also do is that week when the food pantry does their food give out, we provide a lot of extra produce.
Okay.
So people that use the food pantry could get a food card and get extra produce. And the whole purpose is, it's called the full Thanksgiving table effort.
Right.
And the whole purpose was, we sat around one day and we were thinking that, we all have plenty of food at Thanksgiving. You sit down at 1 o'clock and you have Thanksgiving dinner, and you watch a couple of football games, and then 5 or 6 o'clock you sit down again and you have Thanksgiving dinner.
Exactly.
And we just wanted to make sure that there were people that that had plenty of food, that had some of the traditional foods, and we just didn't want anybody to wind up with not an adequate amount of food on their table. So we started that like 3 or 4 years ago, and now it's grown. Like I said, it started with like 150. We needed 150 food cards, and last year we did 480.
Oh, wow.
So it's a huge effort, and the entire Clinton community, including the business community, got behind us and provided the bulk of those food cards.
Now, as far as all the funds and everything that's collected, everything stays local in the town of Clinton, correct?
Everything stays in Clinton.
Okay.
Every dollar is accounted for. We assign various dollars to various programs. Anybody who donates either online or sends a check gets a thank you note.
Right.
So we're very appreciative of the people in the town. They've supported us for, like I said, this is our 17th year.
Wow.
And I tell people, we're just the people that sign the checks.
Right.
But we couldn't do it without their support. So it's a pretty incredible town that we live in, and
Absolutely.
I don't think people quite understand the overwhelming generosity of Clinton. The character of the people is just amazing.
Absolutely.
And, I tell people, I could tell you stories all day long, and some of them you wouldn't believe.
No, I probably heard a couple of them.
Yeah, I'm sure. Excuse me.
Now, as far as, obviously, you just touched on it, for the food drive, obviously everybody is very generous when it comes to the food drive. And the day of the food drive, there's people out in front of Big Y.
Yep. So what
they come up, they say hello, and they hand you a piece of paper.
So what we do is the day before or 2 days before, we get a copy of the Big Y flyer.
Yep.
And we go through the store. We try and match what might be on sale with the need at the food pantry.
Okay.
We do that because, if something's on sale, people might, instead of buying one, they might buy two.
Right.
And we also are aware that, everybody's budget's being stretched to the max right now.
Yep.
So we try and get the items on sale. We pick out 5 or 6 items, and it kind of makes it easier for people. And if somebody can't make the food drive, they can also donate online at fhfclinton.org.
Okay.
And that money that comes in will also be designated as part of the food drive, and we will put that money aside to use for a special event.
Now, as far as information that they can find on the website, what can they find?
They can find everything that we do.
Okay.
All the activities that we're involved in, all the pictures, a lot of pictures of people that have donated to us, and some of the things that we're doing. One of the things I'm proudest of is that this year, through our Clinton Kids Initiative,
Yep.
we're sending 32 kids to summer camp for a whole week.
Really?
Yeah, we're doing
Excellent.
32 scholarships, and we're sending some kids to Cindy Stevens Art Camp,
Excellent.
to Kids Connection Musical Theater Camp,
Okay.
and to the Clinton Sailing Club Camp.
Really?
Yeah, and these are kids that would never have the opportunity to explore these venues, and we're very, very happy that that we can do this. We started off just with a couple of kids, and the program has grown. And it's like Cindy Stevens says, you don't know where the next artist will come from.
Exactly.
You don't know, what ignites that spirit, those talents that a young child might have. So, and I think that experience, will be a highlight of their summer. So, like I said, 32. It might not sound like a lot, but 32
But it
for us it's huge. And It's not cheap either,
No.
but it's important. It's important that, we explore different things that we can expose kids to. That was the whole purpose of even starting this program.
Right.
So I'm excited about that. That's to me that, and we obviously pay for the time, but
Right.
it's very rewarding, and we get reports back, and I can tell you that some of the kids that were at Kids Connection, in the first time that they went, they were very timid, and we've seen them because some of them joined the Groove Crew,
Yep.
and for the first year they were in the back row kind of hiding, and now that they've been exposed to not only the summer camp but singing with the Groove Crew, they're in the front row, and they have a level of confidence that they didn't have. So, that's our reward.
Cool.
So,
Minor Vincent from Families Helping Families. We're about to run out of time, but I want to thank you for coming down.
thanks, Pete.
You got it.
See
Thanks,
you
Minor.
at the food drive.
Yes, sir. On behalf of Minor Vincent, I'm Pete Mezzetti. Thanks again, Nate, and we'll see you next week.